topic is not Disney Plus Day, and again, if folks want to chat about that as we go along, and I might pull the article up a little bit later and go through a few of the offerings there, but I just wanted to talk about streaming services in general. Once again, kind of check in a little bit. This seems to be a kind of major ongoing crusade, or I shouldn't say crusade, but kind of adventure for us, DJ, because it's always changing, it's always morphing, and it's always fascinating to see what is happening and what might be happening with the streaming phenomenon. Because when I was growing up, it goes without saying, but we didn't have all of this constant switching of formats and stuff. You had, and more so than my parents' generation, but I mean, you had you had a bunch of channels. You had your major cable networks, and you had your three, major original TV networks, and that was about it. And we would kind of freak out about how complicated things were at that point, where you could watch like 120 channels. And we couldn't have imagined where things were going to go with the internet and YouTube, and then Netflix, and then the explosion of streaming services. But like, where we're at now with what is the word I'm looking for right now? With platforms is every few months there's just some kind of, or at least a year, there's some kind of seismic shift where I'm starting to wonder, DJ, if this ever settles. Like, I feel like the internet in general, but especially the streaming landscape is just a series of constantly moving tectonic plates. It's not a question of whether the fault line is going to shift and there's going to be an earthquake. There's always an earthquake, but usually it's sitting around, like, I don't know, 1.5 in the Richter scale, but every few months we jump up to like a 9 and 9.5, right? Is it going to be like this forever? Are we ever going to get to a point where it settles, where it solidifies, where you can go, look, these are the main 3 or 4 streamers, and they're not going to keep, jerking the prices around, and you could say, like, there's always, like price fluctuation when it comes to like cable TV and stuff like that, but like, is it ever gonna kind of get to a even line with pricing? Are we ever gonna get to a place where streaming services aren't constantly splintering or merging? It's always different. You never know what you're gonna be able to subscribe to, and we gotta stop getting comfortable. This is what I'm learning, DJ. Like, I don't mean to be cynical, I don't mean to be negative. We have to stop getting excited when these things go our way, because it just ain't gonna stay there.
Yeah, you heard him. You heard the cap. Stop being happy. Life is not, sunshine and rainbows.
Just don't expect your happiness to continue, right? Like, we got to a really nice place a couple of years ago with when Disney Plus and HBO Max were announced and started coming out. I guess they were kind of at slightly different times, and they were like, regardless of my issues with Disney Plus and the way Disney does business, and I'm hearing more and more about their, like, putting movies out and like changing effects and cutting scenes and censoring stuff and all of that. But as far as just offerings go and the things functioning, I'm looking at you, Paramount Plus. They've been the best streaming services, I think, as far as the big major heavy hitters. Not looking at your Criterions and things like that, but the major ones. They've kind of been the new big two, I would argue, since Netflix's kind of epic decline after. Their sorry, DJ is distracting me because he's coughing even though I can't hear it. But after they
turn my camera off too.
After they lost a whole lot of market share and their stocks plummeted, and a lot of companies have kind of taken material off their platform and all of that. And so, yeah, things are changing massively, and HBO Max is not going to be HBO Max next year. And Disney is raising prices, both for Disney and Hulu, and Netflix is just raised prices recently. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articles real quick, and then we'll do any kind of speculating we think we can at all. So this comes from AOL.com. This is from AOL. Is AOL still even a thing? September 8th. So this was just today, in fact, and I thought that this was an old article, but this just came out. Hulu, Disney Plus.
It's AOL, man. It's hip.
It's on the cutting edge. Hulu, as I just said, Hulu and Disney Plus are about to increase their prices. You know, when you get one of these remotes for like a smart TV or for a
it's the worst. They never have what you need.
Or a Fire Stick.
Don't even waste my space on my remote, because you never have the right ones. There's always like a weird one, right?
They're outdated immediately.
Yeah.
I still have
one that I would never use.
Yeah, I still have one that has the Blockbuster app on it. Not that I'm using it, but I still have a remote that has that. I want to keep it just because it's so outdated.
Wow, where does that button even take you now?
I doubt it does anything. I wonder if you could toggle it to take you somewhere. But anyway.
Yeah, they should just make customizable buttons and sell little stickers that you can put on there. That'd be great.
Hulu is increasing prices for both tiers. Now this information actually came out a few days ago, and I was going to bring up on the last Captain Logan show, and we didn't get to it, which is part of why I wanted to mention it now. But Hulu's ad-supported tier will increase from $6.99 to $7.99, so not huge. But their ad-free tier will move from $12.99 to $14.99, which is pretty steep. I don't love paying even the $12 a month for Hulu, and I have been because I watch lately, for whatever reason, I've been watching enough on it that I don't really want to deal with commercials. But at $15, it makes me consider kind of dropping back. And the worry I keep having is that the ad tier will eventually catch up to what the old non-ad price used to be, DJ. So I'm glad we're not there yet, and that the ad price is only increasing by $1. But considering that fundamentally, I'm accustomed to it now. I'm used to it. I'm not expecting this to change, but I don't like it. Fundamentally, I feel like if you're watching ads and they're getting ad revenue, you shouldn't also have to pay a subscription fee. This is just how it is now. But fundamentally, I don't feel like we should have to pay a regular monthly fee if we're also watching ads. But
yeah, well, and mine. And my Hulu TV subscription will now go from $75 to $1,000.
I'm sorry, that was a joke, right?
Yes, I don't know if they're raising that or not, but it's already stupid expensive.
They would have to. Well, you're talking about for Hulu TV. I guess they wouldn't necessarily have to, but price. I should mention, by the way, that part of this is probably happening because we're seeing prices for almost literally everything rising right now, particularly, of course, groceries and physical goods and stuff. But when you see any price increase right now, it's not really surprising given supply chain issues and stuff that you can't get shipped from overseas right now and things like that, and where we've been with gas prices for a while. And this isn't stuff we usually talk about too much on the show, and I don't want to be a doomsayer and start and suggest that everybody needs to start stocking up in your bunkers. Not all of us.
No, you can't be a doomsayer. You're a Logan Tier.
Yeah, precisely. But it's just the facts. It's just the way it is. And the worry, of course, is that once prices start going up, it's hard to expect them to ever go back down.
Yeah, I need a bunker myself. Maybe I'll dig one in my new house.
Or at least it's hard to expect them to go down for physical goods. This kind of stuff we have seen fluctuate. I don't want to say that streaming is a speculative thing exactly, but we have seen some of these services occasionally drop their prices, and not just temporarily. Sometimes for the sake of competition, we do see a drop. So this could be temporary, but it's a question.
Yeah, but it is kind of a weird idea to be like, okay, well, why would they think, oh, everyone's paying this price now, so why would we lower it?
Yeah. And then again, Disney is introducing an ad-supported plan, so everybody is going to this now. Netflix is about to have one. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and Disney is going from the once cheap service. I like that. Will dramatically increase from its current $7.99 price tag to $10.99 a month. If you want to stick with the current Disney Plus price, yeah, and that's a pretty steep jump.
I think I'm going to cancel. I don't even want to pay $7.99. I don't think it's even worth that.
Well, I say it's steep. I mean, it is the same jump that Hulu did.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they own Hulu, so they're handling it the same way. I kind of wish that they would just merge the services, especially since Disney now has no qualms about having rated R material. Like, why not?
Yeah, they have everything on there now. They've put all their ABC content on there, like all the TV shows, and it's just kind of like a streaming service now. It doesn't seem like a kids only streaming service anymore.
I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit, but some of these bundles are starting to feel a little scammy to me, DJ, where you've got companies that own multiple streaming services, and instead of merging them, and I don't mean to be a hypocrite, there are cases where I'm not liking what I'm hearing about merging, but this is not the same thing as your HBO Max merging with Discovery Plus, because those were two companies that weren't connected, one of which bought out the other one, and now it looks like they're going to massively maybe compromise HBO Max and turn it into something that it wasn't, instead of just giving us all of that content all together. Like, that's maybe a little bit different. Now, if that comes together and you still have all the hubs and you still have a lot of the content that at least I like, it's going to be hard to complain as much. But we've already seen them X so much, just like original HBO content, that's kind of frustrating. But then look at something like this, another thing that I meant to bring up on a previous Captain Logan show, and I'm now just getting around to mentioning. This is Hollywood Reporter, Showtime. This is from a couple of weeks ago. Showtime added, or I guess a week ago, added the Paramount Plus in revamped bundle offering. New Paramount Plus and Showtime bundle will debut with a $7.99 a month promo price point. That's really cool, but the operative word there is promo. This is going to be a bundle, and eventually they'll jump that price back up. Probably that's why it's a promo price, and there's no good reason that those streaming services couldn't be one service at this point. I wish they would be, because as much as I hate Paramount Plus with a burning passion of 1,000 suns, I'm kind of stuck with it because of some of the offerings there that I need to have regular access to, and because I am watching not all of the new Star Treks, because most of it is awful, but I'm enjoying Strange New Worlds enough to keep going with it. So I kind of have to hang on to that, but there are things that I want to watch at Showtime, and I just haven't wanted to add one more streaming services, so I've kind of avoided certain things that I've wanted to watch there. There's a show, DJ, on Showtime right now that I've been biting the bullet to go ahead and watch, and I've been paying extra for the add-on on this is also complicated, right? On
Amazon
Prime in order to watch it. And I always do this. I'll be like, I'm going to do this temporarily, and then it'll hit me like 2 or 3 months in a row, and I'll keep forgetting to cancel it. Like I've done that with Peacock. Where, like,
you're their favorite kind of customer, sir. That's
yeah, exactly. Like Peacock, I don't regularly pay for, and I'll just use the ad version for something I really need. And Peacock is one of the best streaming services because they're even if they don't have a lot of offerings I care about, they are weirdly customer friendly over there, and from what I've seen so far, weirdly customer friendly.
I have oddly been watching a lot of Peacock lately too. We never did a video on Peacock.
No, and we should have.
We should have done that.
It's a little late now.
I do gotta say,
yeah,
I gotta give respect to Apple TV Plus, as dumb of a name as that is, and it's not as great of a streaming service as it is.
I always forget about that one.
I give them respect because they sent me an email saying, hey, your subscription is about to renew, and like warning me, which is like, that's like not what you do. That's the whole point, is to trick people into auto renew and just paying you money without knowing it. But they sent me an email to give me an update, and I said, oh cool, and so I canceled it before it charged me. So very cool, Apple.